Back at it again, and it seems the left is panicking once again, and for good reason. The alarm bells are ringing. It is absolute panic mode for the left because things aren't getting any better for them. Okay, we're gonna be diving into that because somebody said something recently that I think you're gonna want to hear. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
As President Biden ramps up his general election campaign, there are new warning signs. The Washington Post reporting former President Obama has raised questions about the structure of President Biden's reelection campaign. Two sources confirmed to NBC News that Obama and Biden met over lunch in December and discussed the campaign, with Obama expressing deep concern about Mr. Trump's political strength. Underscoring the urgency, one source telling me this is an all-hands-on-deck moment. As President Biden...
Deep concern. This is an all hands on deck moment. All hands on deck. I think they've royally messed up. I really do believe that. The only way that they win at this point in time, in my humble opinion, is if we mess it up ourselves. It's if we don't show up and do our part simply because the polls say something, right? Because, people as humans, we sometimes get a little comfortable, right? That's the only way that we lose. And listen, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I get as many people out, to the polls as possible. All right. I hope you do the same. Okay. But check out this clip here.
What keeps me up are the things that I know. The war in the region, in too many regions. What is AI going to do for us? The environment, are we moving at all fast enough? What are we doing about education? Are people going to vote? And why aren't people voting? Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, those are the things that keep me up because you don't have control over them. And you wonder, where are we in this? Where are our hearts? What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted. The fact that people think that government, does it really even do anything? And I'm like, oh my God, does government do everything for us? And we cannot take this democracy for granted. And sometimes I worry that we do. Those are the things that keep me up.
I'm glad Michelle said that the person we pick matters, because I've recently had some conversations with some folks, about politics and things. And one of the things that a couple people brought up is that, oh, well, the president doesn't matter. And of course, they were Democrats, right? And so I think that was like a defense mechanism more so than anything. Like, yeah, I understand. I can't really go back at you as far as this debate goes, but presidents don't matter anyway. So the next time I have a conversation with them, I'm going to bring it. Well, Michelle Obama said this. Michelle said it actually does matter. Matters a whole lot. But you heard Michelle there. She said she is terrified. Terrified. And as she should be. As Michelle should be, right? All of the left that has committed crimes and is connected with all of these crimes that the left has committed should be terrified. Because they have royally messed up. Royally messed up. All of the polls say Trump, right? When you read through social media, it says Trump. Even though some of the polls now are trying to say Nikki Haley. Yeah. I'll believe that when I see it. And even then I won't believe it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because nobody talks about Nikki Haley, not a single soul, and she just like got exposed because her event had nobody show up to it. So I don't want to hear nothing about no Nikki Haley surging in the polls. Show me a packed event that Nikki Haley has gone to or hosted, that has more than 2,000 people. Show me. Yeah, exactly. It ain't happening. But anyway, let's get back to why they are panicking for good reason. They are a sinking ship, and there's not a lifeboat or paddle in sight. And so I wonder, what are they going to try to do in order to fix this major problem? Because otherwise it's going to be an absolute landslide. Now, granted, they have time on their side, unfortunately. Wish the election was tomorrow, right? Goodness gracious. Or yesterday, okay? A month ago, you know? But they have time on their side, unfortunately. And I just wonder, what will they attempt to do in order to get the win? Because, once again, they're going to try something. I mean, that's obvious. That's common sense. In my humble opinion, it's common sense, right? But I just don't know what yet. Because stuff like this, it ain't good.
This, as our new poll shows, the president's approval among black voters is down 17 points since the first year of his presidency. Mr. Biden is also down by double digits among Latinos, voters without a college degree, and independents. And as we mentioned, 59% of Democratic primary voters tell us they want to see a challenger to President Biden. This.
It is getting ugly for this guy, man. I just... I'm going to roll this clip, too. Check it out.
Caucuses. New polling shows former President Trump making larger inroads with two key groups when compared to 2016. Evangelicals and first-time caucus goers. NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki is with us from the big board. Steve, what are the latest polls showing us about Trump's gain with these two groups? I have no words for evangelical voters at this point.
It's just in terms of the numbers on this, I'll show you here in a second. It is a dramatic, pick your adjective, dramatic turnaround, I'll say, since 2016 in terms of where Trump stands with evangelicals. We've seen this nationally, and I think it's the biggest story in Iowa. Just as a refresher, 8 years ago, Iowa caucuses, first time in the 2016, first contest of the 2016 process. Remember, Trump lost Iowa. He came in second to Ted Cruz. He barely held off Marco Rubio for third place. Remember, there were a couple days there after Iowa in 2016. People were saying, hey, maybe this Trump thing will all fall apart. He ended up winning New Hampshire, turning it around. But the overriding reason that Donald Trump lost Iowa in 2016 is right here. This is the exit poll from the caucuses. This is the evangelical vote. About 64% of the Iowa Republican electorate in 2016 was evangelical. And look, Ted Cruz won it. He won it by double digits, 34-22 over Donald Trump. So Cruz with a double-digit win among evangelicals. There was a lot of resistance, a lot of skepticism. Trump had some support with evangelicals, but Cruz was the candidate of the evangelicals in Iowa in 2016, and he won the state. So that was 2016. Our most recent NBC News Des Moines Register poll out of Iowa. This is about a month old, but this is what we've been seeing all year. Among evangelicals, look at the turnaround. Trump, who was losing by 12 to Ted Cruz, now with an outright majority, 51% of the evangelical vote, basically 2-1 over his nearest foe, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, barely in double digits, 51%. That tracks, by the way, with Trump in that poll, his overall support in Iowa, we also had at 51%. And just the history of this, we said Ted Cruz in 2016, he won the evangelical vote in Iowa. He won the caucuses. Rick Santorum, 2012, won the evangelical vote, won the caucuses. Mike Huckabee, 2008, evangelical vote caucuses. That's why Donald Trump, the biggest reason Trump has been winning and winning big in these Iowa polls. But we mentioned that other group. This is always a wild card group in caucuses. First-time caucus goers can often be about 40% of the caucus electorate. Here is a group that Trump won in 2016, although it was close. He got 30%, Cruz, Rubio, both in the 20s. So this was a group that kept Trump in the game in 2016. Wasn't enough to win the state for him. But look at this. When you look now in our poll at first-time caucus goers, Trump with a 51-point advantage over his nearest foe here, Ron DeSantis. So he's had those two groups not just change in terms of one going for him that wasn't before. They have both exploded in terms of him now just winning outright majorities, massive landslides with both groups. It's why he's been so consistently ahead in Iowa. And it does set up, obviously, we are 6 days away from the caucuses themselves. Before that, I will say, we will have one final NBC News Des Moines Register poll before the caucuses. It's the one the whole political world is usually waiting on. Ann Selzer, the great pollster, takes it, and we'll see if either of these groups, if there's any sign of late movement in either of those groups, because that's what it would take for any of these candidates to stop Trump or to make this close.
Wow.
Oh, happy day. Man, what a beautiful day, huh? Yes, sir. Yeah, but we're also supposed to believe that Nikki Haley is surging. Yep. They want us to believe that. We're also supposed to believe that Trump can't beat Biden. Of course not. Yeah, okay. Not only do the polls back up, Trump taking a W in 2024, but also just the videos online, right? On social media, the comments on social media. And I've shown you guys some of those comments from different posts, right? And different clips across social media of different folks supporting Trump, so I first off, I don't see Nikki Haley coming even close to Trump. If anybody comes close, I would see Vivek, but according to his poll numbers, he's not going to be close, which I'm still, scratching my head on that one. And then also, I don't see Biden beating Trump at all. Not at all. It's not even close. Because, okay, so from the conversations that I've personally had, right? Either I have, I don't even want to, convinced isn't even the right word. I've opened people's eyes to the truth about Joe Biden and Democrats. And I feel like they've seen the error in their ways. And a couple of them have said, Trump, absolutely, Trump. Right? Or the other thing is, I'm probably not voting anyway. So when you have that type of dynamic, now, granted, that's just my personal experience talking to folks, right? That's all I'm talking about here. I mean, we can talk about the polls. We can talk about the videos we see online that I've showed you guys and the comments that we see online that I've showed you guys those as well. But just from my own personal experience, I don't see Joe Biden coming even close. Because either you've got people that have switched to Republican and will support Trump because their eyes have been open to the truth about Trump and the truth about Democrats and Joe Biden. Or you have people that are still in denial about Trump, but they really hate Joe Biden. So they're not going to show up to vote anyway. Just saying. I'm just saying. So, yeah. Y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.